Holochronicles.
Continue with the operation. Unit 5 and ready.
Well, here we are. Andrew.
What up, Josh?
Welcome to the Holochronicles. What a great day.
Episode 40, coinciding with the 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back. Actually, this whole last week was an anniversary week for Star Wars. It was the debut week, well, for a lot of, summer blockbuster movies, I would imagine. But Star Wars in particular, on this date, today, May 25th, back in 1977, a little movie called Star Wars dropped, and it literally changed the world. But it's also the anniversary week for Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace, Empire Strikes Back. I mean, there's been a lot of movies dropping on this week back in such and such a year. So
It's a great week.
Yeah, it was a fun Twitter week.
It's a fun Twitter week. Speaking of that, we want to thank everyone that's joining us live.
We are live.
We are live. Again, we're Holochronicles from the Beyond the Blast Doors Network.
Yes.
You can find us on Twitter at BTBD Net, right? Did I do that right?
Yeah, I think
so.
I'm
still trying to get that to roll off the tongue. Or, beyondtheblastdoors.com.
Well, speaking of beyondtheblastdoors.com, Josh.
Okay.
I want to bring that up here because if you're a follower of the network, that's where all of our content is. That's a one-stop shop place for all of our podcasts, videos, articles that we write, and you can find merch there. And if you're interested in joining our Patreon, you can do that there as well, and we appreciate that support.
Plus, we have all the other members of the network to check out, which are great.
Right.
Excellent content.
Every Monday, we're dropping something. Every Tuesday, Pete's dropping something on Around the Galaxy. Wednesdays, Shannon.
Keep going.
Okay, sorry. Wednesdays, Shannon from Postcards from Galaxy's Edge. Thursday is BTBN Live with David Amilati. Fridays is Streaming Star Wars, where they talk Disney Plus with Ammo and Fletzer. Saturdays is the Bomb Badcast. And then Sunday is our day of rest.
It's a day of rest for the network. No correlation.
So subscribe to the YouTube channel and get all notifications when upcoming videos and podcasts are coming out. Check regularly the webpage at beyondtheblastdoors.com. All right, business. Check. Taken care of. Good to see Ro and the Red 5 Network in the chat room. Good to see 2Med. It's okay that you're late.
Shannon's here.
Shannon's here. Mr. Rez, Matt Harrington, Mr. Milky. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, it's great.
Happy Memorial Day, Josh.
Yeah.
I know you've got some military in your family.
Yep.
I've got a little bit in mine. I think many people do.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it's covered by my name in the picture though, but I got a cool, should I show that really quick?
Yeah, do it. It's relevant. No, this is not a custom X-Wing pilot helmet.
It is not. This is my grandfather's flight helmet. He was a tail gunner in a B-52 bomber.
Nice.
Flew active duty over Vietnam. So it always gets me, it kind of gives me chills. This was, and I told you this the other day, I had so many X-Wing battles wearing this helmet. He used to have an office and a desk, and I would put it on, put the blast shield down, and I blew up a lot of Death Stars, let me tell you what.
Hey.
But yeah, I have a lot of fond memories and was privileged enough to get it after he passed.
Cool. Well, happy Memorial Day to you guys out there too. And for those that are currently serving, we also thank you as well.
Of course.
This week today is traditionally in years past been air quotes Star Wars Day, because this is the day that is the anniversary of Star Wars coming out in theaters. It has recently become a secondary holiday in the last, 2 years, we'll say.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this would be the second anniversary of hashtag Make Solo 2 Happen.
Yeah.
That our friends over at the Resistance Broadcast have been putting out there so much that it has become a trending topic on the last two May 25th And it's a cool deal. It's super positive in the Star Wars fandom, and we appreciate that and love it. And we also would like to see Solo 2 happen. So
yeah, we talked about that from the beginning. Back when we did I think we did a pod and talked a bit about Solo and kind of liking that movie and our feelings on that movie. And I'd absolutely love to see it in any form. If it was a series on Disney Plus or an actual, theatrical release, great. I think the series would be pretty cool,
That would be. And, there were some reasons why it didn't do as well that weren't the fault of the actual movie.
Right.
Some of the timing and the promotional aspects of it weren't ideal. And it didn't seem like they were as well thought out as other promotional and marketing schemes for other Star Wars movies have. That said, if we got any more Solo content or Crimson Dawn content or Kira or Lando or, any...
It's almost a story of Kira we want to hear now, right?
A little bit. It's not that we've had enough of Solo because he's such a cool character, but it's opened kind of some doors into some other areas. Like, that would be cool. I want to know more. And people really like Maul, and he's popular. And anyway,
it's an exciting, look, the deal is if it happens 2 years from now or 10 years from now, we'll still be excited.
Yeah.
The only issue being maybe the actors and how they've aged. But otherwise, young Solo can't turn into old Solo. But there you go.
Yeah, definitely. So hashtag make Solo 2 happen all day today. So
yeah,
get that on people's radar, and who knows, it just might happen.
Just might happen.
All right. Our first order of business is to talk Show Me Your Collection from this weekend.
Let's put it up there. Oh, yeah, see, we're live. Now I have to do, gosh, here it comes.
Show me your collection.
It never gets old.
Today's collection, and we'll try and zip through this here, but give it its proper due and respect, comes from our friend Marc over in the UK, and you can find him on Twitter at #StarWarsToyPod. He also has a YouTube channel called Blue Harvest How to Collect Toys, and he does a daily, it's noon Pacific time, but I don't know, it's in the evening for him. He does a daily, about an hour-long chat with a couple of his toy buddies. Usually that consists of Bosk's Bounty, Universal Collector, and super awesome toy geek guy.
Geek guy, yeah.
But that'd be John and Matt and Tim. Yes.
You're so good with names.
Well, I'm
Thank
trying.
God for you, Andy.
I'm trying. I better be. I'm a teacher. So anyway, Marc's collection, he in our conversations with each other, Marc started collecting as soon as Star Wars started getting promoted. And for him, that meant only getting comic books. At the time, that was the only thing that was out. So he initially started collecting the comic books as a young boy. And you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, he's got some of those framed on his wall, which is
very nice.
Which is a cool thing to
Little
do.
mix of the Doctor Who in there too.
Yes.
Can't be a good Brit without some Doctor Who in there, right?
Well, he's not exclusive to Star Wars, but the majority of the toys that he collects are Star Wars.
Awesome.
So he also is a big Princess Leia fan. And,
for you.
Looking at his pictures here, he does have a little shelf devoted, and it looks like a life-size cardboard cutout of Princess Leia.
Is she guarding the bathroom?
It looks like, or maybe the den. I don't know. It's like, enter at your own risk. But he's a big Princess Leia fan, and I always ask the question: all right, in a house fire, you can only grab one thing. What do you grab? And he said pretty quickly that he would grab his personalized, autographed Leia.
My bad.
Right collection.
I know. It went down too far. All right. Well, cool. Oh, there it is. Got it. Very cool. Ooh, that's pretty. Check it out on Twitter so you can see it better. But that is signed by Carrie Fisher. With an XXO?
Yeah. 2 kisses and 1 hug.
Oh, my goodness.
Marc, you dirty dog, you. But no, it says 2. It's, it's got his name on it.
Loved Marc.
She penned his name on it, which is very cool, and personalized autographs are awesome.
I love it.
Like autographs are awesome. Personalized autographs, totally awesome.
That means you're not buying it to sell it, necessarily.
Right.
Or you got to find a Marc.
Yeah, with a C.
With a C.
Marc with a C. That's a little less common than a Marc with a K.
Yep.
So anyway, Marc is in the middle of putting together and kind of fixing up a Palitoy Death Star set, which is a very cool item. He's done a couple videos on it too.
I don't know if I've ever seen that.
I've not seen one in person, and it's yeah,
Andy?
It was muted.
Andy?
Sorry about that. Jeez, that's what happens when we're live, man.
Yeah, that's all right.
Bogus stuff. I'm just gonna turn my phone off completely just to.
So yeah, that's very cool. That's I don't, in person or otherwise, I've never seen it. It's round. It's got multiple levels. I'd have killed to have that as a kid.
So it reminds me of a cardboard version of the Lego Death Star.
Okay.
Where it's got levels and rooms,
Yeah.
and it's even got like hallway connectors from one room to another. And I don't know, it's very cool. If you've never actually seen one, go look up some pictures. They're pretty cool. Or just look at this one. This is one angle, but they're very cool. So awesome collection, Marc. Thank you so much for sharing. And remember, if you have a Star Wars collection of any size, great or small, and you'd like us to feature it, DM us on Twitter at Holochronicles, and we would love to see what you're into. But we just keep getting awesome collections wanting to be shared. And the next 4 are outstanding. And so you guys have been liking them. We're going to keep sharing them every Saturday. Hashtag show me your collection. Let's keep it rolling.
Let's keep it rolling. All right. What are we up to this time?
We are up to next. Since it is the 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back. Now, Josh, would you agree with me that Empire Strikes Back is the most quotable Star Wars movie?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, if you don't mind me taking a little trail here.
Do it.
As a matter of fact,
Do it.
in my household, we don't have Star Wars on loop. I know there's some households where, there's always kind of a Star Wars movie playing throughout the month, once or twice. I kind of keep them a little sacred. When I put them up on the screen, I'm either watching them just by myself, or recently, my youngest daughter built a checklist of movies on the Disney Plus because she's got some time on her hands. So she wrote her own list. Taking a collector tip here of creating a list of things she wants to accomplish, and the Star Wars movies were on that list. So I walked into the room, and she's halfway through New Hope.
Okay.
And I was frustrated. I said, hey, what? And she's like just kicking back, watching it, and I'm excited, but I'm also like a little like, no one let me know what's going on. Dad wants to sit down.
I want to brought popcorn.
I want to be like, wait till this part, nothing.
Would you be sitting there saying the lines to the movie as they're happening?
Yeah. Like, no, yeah. She started looking, shut up, Dad. All right, sorry. And especially when I miss a word, I'm just a little off. But anyway, so that happened. And then I was like, okay, well, last week, since it was the anniversary, I said, hey, I'm watching the next
We're good.
I hadn't sat and watched Empire in its entirety in a few years, and especially not with kind of the eyes that I have now. And so to your point, quotable, like the most awesome. I mean, I was just so impressed. And some of it, I started trying to think through, what did they do so right? And part of it was just raw. There's even some audio where Imperial officers are over at a desk and the camera angle's far away, and the audio sounds like you're listening to it from the point of the camera. It's echoey, it's not very close, and it was just like, it must have just been that gritty, raw, I don't know, filming that just gave it so much character. I fell in love with it again. I hate to be on the bandwagon of Empire's the best movie, but by golly, It is.
It's okay if it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to disagree with that, but you can make a very compelling case, no matter what age you are, wherever you jumped into Star Wars, that it's the best movie because there's a lot of strengths to it.
There is. And it's this very tight story, about Luke. Really, truly, Luke is the arc.
Yeah.
And it's just super cool. And then how goofy Yoda is when he first shows up. I mean, my daughter was just dying because Yoda, if you watch, Clone Wars or even the prequels,
he's measured.
He's measured. He's a master. He's a Jedi master.
Right.
But when you first meet Yoda on Dagobah, he's a goofy little puppet that's going, and doing all his stuff and hitting R2 and
Found
stealing
someone
food.
You have.
Yeah, stealing food. No wonder you grow so big or something like that.
Well, to that point, it's also my opinion that Empire Strikes Back has the best toy selection out of those first three. Now, the Star Wars toys that came out, in 77, 78, even 79, those were awesome. And those hooked kids, deep. The hook was set deep. A top 10 Empire Strikes Back toys list, but starting first with the worst.
Oh, okay.
The worst.
Just the worst one?
Just the worst toy. Now,
I don't have a pick of that.
No. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. Because we're not going to spend any time on this other than my little teeny tiny rant here, but it's toys. It's not figures. All right. Now, everybody kind of can glom onto a different character or a different figure. And I don't want to step on anyone's toes in that regard, because
you could have a collector that collects just this toy.
That's also true. We've seen it. We've seen collections specifically one thing.
Yeah.
But we're not going to talk about figures. It's going to just be toys, vehicles, play sets. Okay. So Empire Strikes Back, the worst.
In your opinion.
In my opinion. Now, if we were going to go figures, I'd say the FX7 droid, because what the heck does that thing do? It was worthless in the movie. Didn't do anything in the movie. And then they made a figure of it and it just has this bony little skirt and this little 3-claw that all it does is just get broken.
Yeah.
So,
you were talking about this before we went live, and you're very passionate.
I have feelings that are strong. Okay, but toy-wise, the toy's not bad, but it's a creative choice that I don't understand at all.
Yeah.
Like white TIE Fighter, awesome, love it. Like,
as it gets dirtier, it looks more like a TIE fighter. Is that what it is?
Yeah, but not even that they went blue. Blue was an odd choice to me. A blue TIE fighter, odd choice. But then they double down on it and go battle damaged blue TIE fighter.
Ah, yeah.
So it's like, no, we're not changing it. We're actually digging our heels in.
Yeah, we're going to stay with blue.
Yeah.
It's as close to gray as we could get. Oh, except for we made Vader's.
And the TIE Interceptor. And anything else that's gray.
That's hilarious.
So
okay, so you feel better?
I feel better. Thank you for letting me get off that. Letting me get that off my chest.
I mean, wow.
Now, let me know what you think, or don't tell me what you think is worse, because I don't want to spew negativity in rapid amounts. But just tell me if you agree with me. Like, weird choice with the blue tie. Okay,
weird choice.
Was it a weird choice, Josh? Do you find it to be a weird choice?
I think the color is weird. Yeah.
Yeah. A blue TIE fighter. All the colors.
And maybe in space, the hue is blue. Maybe they know something we don't know.
That rhymed.
There it is.
Okay, now the top 10.
Okay.
Now, I will say that these are more of my top 10. And Josh, you are going to respond to that.
I am.
And
we were going to kind of do the back and forth because I have a couple issues with your top 10.
And I think that'll make for good conversation.
Of course.
Who wants to just hear two people agree all the time?
Well, welcome to the Holochronicles.
Married people.
Yeah, right.
But we are not.
We are not.
So, number 10
all right.
on my top 10. is the Rebel Transport / figure carrier.
There it is in all its glory. This one holds a special place in our heart, doesn't it?
In
Andy?
our history.
Yes.
Josh.
In our heart as well.
Yes, yes. Not only is it the first transaction that you and I had with each other, I traded an original Optimus Prime,
Yep.
and he gave me this.
No box.
No box, but that was our very first transaction. What was that, 4 years ago?
Yeah. That's when you came slinking into my house and
Scoping the
out
place out.
scoping out the bins.
Here's why I like this toy, and here's why it made the top 10. It's big. I appreciate the size. It is a practical toy in that it's a figure carrier that also acts as a ship.
Right.
The previous figure carriers, at this time, Darth Vader head, you know, that carrying case, is awesome. It's cool. It holds a lot of figures, but it only does that. It is only a big Vader bust that carries figures. This carries figures and is a ship in the movie that has purpose. So it's functional and it's fun.
It is, and it
puts the fun in function.
Okay, that's enough. It puts one thing that I like is it came with all of those backpacks, right? All the battle gear or whatever.
Yeah, and the little
and the masks.
Yeah, the little breathing.
So you could and you always got to wonder why. It seems unnecessary and maybe not even connected, but I always like it when a toy has some little extra features that just make it more fun. Also, you know, like you said, it's big. It's got a cockpit that's functional, and it opens up, and it doesn't feel
it has a turret gunner in the back.
Yeah, and even though the scale isn't, you know, accurate, it's still, like you said, is a big toy. And if you put your guys in there and are flying it around, you feel like you know, like you're really in a.
You got the whole rebellion in there.
You can escape from any situation.
That and an ion cannon, yes.
You got it.
Okay, number 9, moving right along. Now, this one has a bit of intrigue for me. I've never owned one, but it's on this long list of things that I'd like to own at some point. But it is a TIE Bomber die-cast ship.
Okay.
I don't know why Kenner never made one of these for the 3 3/4 inch figures. This only came out in a die cast, which is smaller. You know, it's a smaller model. They came out with these in the 90s.
Yep.
Power of the Force era type. But I always thought it was cool, you know, because as they're searching, you know, in the movie, as the Empire is searching for the Millennium Falcon in the asteroid field, they got these TIE bombers dropping charges as they go to try and scare them out. And I thought at the time, even as a kid, I thought, oh, those are cool. And they looked like a TIE fighter, but they had the bent wings like Vader's, but a double, you know, one to hold the bombs, one to hold the pilot. And I don't know, I thought it was very cool at the time.
How many pilots how many pilots are in a TIE bomber?
1.
Are there 2? Is there a bombardier?
Fair question, Josh.
Let's put it out to the universe here. Galaxy, I mean. All right, guys. Do you know?
Do you know? Chat, do you guys know?
Do you know? So anyway, just a question. Gotta have a bombardier.
Yeah.
Guy looking in the scope.
Yeah. You know, all right, 3, 2, 1, drop it.
Yeah.
Anyway, the TIE Bomber only came out in this die-cast form and makes it somewhat collectible as a result. And so, very cool ship. Too bad they didn't make it for the 3 3/4 figure.
Sure.
But cool enough to make.
They probably would have made it in blue, though.
Maybe it's good they didn't. Anyway, number 9 on that list.
All right.
Okay.
I don't disagree with that. That's cool. And that's your personal one right there, right?
I wish.
It's not. I'm sorry.
No.
Dang.
I've never owned this one. Yet.
All right.
Yet. Number 8. Probably the weirdest Star Wars toy in the Kenner line.
Okay.
The Cloud Car.
What did I call it?
It looks like 2 shoes attached together.
It does. It does. But it's got a great place you can hold it and fly it around, you know.
Right. Yeah. And I don't know if you ever did this, Josh, but I would grab it, by the connecting beam, whatever, and I'd turn it sideways, and I'd use it as a gun.
Oh, would you?
Yeah, just bang bang, as some sort of like space gun.
Right.
Probably more so than I'd used it as a spaceship. So
I am disappointed in the name. I thought my name of Bespin Cruiser was. I remember when I called it that. Those people, I couldn't come up with Cloud Car. The Bespin Cruiser.
Yeah,
That's a.
I know we weren't going to talk figures, but I do really like the Cloud Car pilots.
I know you do.
They have
and you've got two there. This is yours.
Yes, this is a picture.
And one of them
mine.
has the communicator.
Yep, the little comm link.
That's a tough one to find there.
Small, very tiny.
Very tiny, easily lost.
Yep. Anyway,
all right.
The Cloud Car,
I don't know if I would say it was the best. I remember I had a Cloud Car. Empire was when I got all my toys. Okay. That's I was old enough. All the toys came in, and then Jedi, of course, more. But I had a Cloud Car. It served its purpose from time to time. You could put two figures in it. Usually, it got shot down.
Yeah, there weren't any like visible guns on it, so it's like, what does this thing do?
Well, we know it's got guns because it shot a few across the bow, but
yeah,
nothing
visible.
cool. Yeah, they got to be small guns.
Yeah. So, which one's the pilot? Which one's the gunner?
There you go. And what if they're both pilots? And then one guy wants to go right, and the other guy wants to go left.
That's so funny when I can't remember if it's the Blue Harvest episode, but the Family Guy.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm driving. No, I'm driving.
Yeah. Oh.
Number 7.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. No, okay. Number 7. Kenner really upped their playset game in Empire Strikes Back. We had a few for Star Wars, but they made a whole bunch more. And I'm talking the Hoth Ice Planet, the Imperial Attack Base. There was, a mix of some cardboard.
Yeah.
Somebody's here?
Yeah. Live.
But there is one that actually wasn't super popular at the time, and as a result, it's become very collectible. But I think it's really cool, and that is the Cloud City playset.
Okay.
It's made out of cardboard, so
that wasn't it.
I
gave it away. Did you go off your list?
No,
That's okay.
I had a last minute
We'll keep going.
I had a last minute switch.
Gotcha.
The Cloud City playset, made out of cardboard, pretty flimsy. You don't see many that have lasted well, I should say.
Right.
I do have one, and it's not in great shape. You get these, little thin cardboard tabs that poke into each other, and then they just don't last. They just don't last.
Yeah, but it's got the city in the background. It's got a really cool,
It came with a few figures.
Yeah.
It came with a Dengar and an Ugnaught and a Lobot and Lando?
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, I really like it. It made my top 10.
Now those right there, I'm not the biggest fan of the play sets. Never have been. Even as a kid, I kind of felt gypped by the cardboard. That's all. And I just remember now as we collect, I've already told you that I have a few of the play sets, and they're kind of beat up because
cardboard doesn't last.
It just doesn't last, and
kids.
But but that's fine. I think they're cool to look at, but I've never been like, I got to go get that play set. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Number 6. And now you can put that picture up there.
Oh, can I?
The Imperial Troop Transport, the ITT. There is one reason why this vehicle, particularly the one on the right, not the one on the left, not the Sears version. Sears version didn't come with sound.
Sears cutting corners.
Since 1978. The Imperial Troop Transport has 6 push-button sound options that play on a little disc, like a little record player, a little needle, and it spins. And those 6 sound effects are totally cool, and they don't last either.
But they're really cool.
They're really cool. If you can find one that works, it's very cool. All right.
Especially the way the mechanics work, because we've taken one apart. And
tried to fix it, and it's
like a little record in there. It's silly.
It is silly, which
but also awesome.
Adds to the allure, yeah.
Like I said, when toys do something that they just don't have to do, and the little stickers on top with the images of what sound you're going to get.
Right. You're going to get an R2. You're going to get a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
A couple pew-pews.
Pew-pews for sure.
Yeah. I love this strictly for the sound.
Now, tell me, when did we see this transport in the movie?
We did not.
We saw it in Rogue One.
We saw it in Rogue One.
Right.
We saw it in
Mando.
We saw it in Mandalorian. So thankfully, they're coming back with it. In fact, Hasbro even has come out with a new ITT.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't have any sounds. So why? I mean, it's got to have the sounds
and a record player.
It put a little disc in there, spin some vinyl in there. Yeah, that was number 6 on my list, Josh, of top 10. We're moving right along to number 5.
Number 5.
And then this is where I think we're going to start to get a little debate because it's top 5 for me.
Yep.
But it's probably higher on other people's lists. Now, I will say that I think that the Snowspeeder has the coolest light motor system of all of the Star Wars toys. The alternating, flashing laser cannons is very cool, and it sounds cool too. For that reason, it's number 5 on my list. Do you find it appropriately marked, too high or too low?
I don't. The only thing that I have is that the Snowspeeder was one of my favorite vehicles in the series. Like that scene on Hoth when they're looking for Han and Luke the next morning.
I found them.
I love it. I just love it because it's the dun 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 dun. I mean, it's just a cool transition from oh no to it's bright, and I just love that scene. I watched that scene as a kid.
It's morning. It's a new day.
Yeah.
Filled with possibilities.
It was a storm the last time we saw this planet.
It was dark.
And now it's this, and he's flying around, and Han quips at him, and took you long enough, or whatever, and he does the flyby and the wave. I mean, that whole scene, and then, of course, that scene and that music is so iconic in Shadows of the Empire, that and then the Rogue Squadron games I would play, they just loved Hoth. They loved Hoth. Every Rogue Squadron game out there, you were going to be on Hoth, taking out walkers and flying in speeders. So So I don't disagree with the toy location.
Okay, so before we go any further, there were 3 kind of themed places in Empire Strikes Back. There was Hoth, where we started.
Right.
Luke then goes to Dagobah, and stuff's going on there. And then we finish in Bespin.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as the toy line goes, there was Hoth and there was Bespin. We had a Dagobah playset and Yoda and stuff, but there was really, there was the Hoth, Han, Leia, Luke,
right,
and all the different toys for Hoth set, and then there was all of that for Bespin too, plus Lando. So as far as like those 2 places, geographic places, as far as the toys go, were you more Hoth or you more Bespin?
Hoth.
Okay.
I was more Hoth.
Okay.
I really liked Hoth.
I think I agree with you. I think the toys and the things were cooler in Hoth.
Yep.
But Bespin was cool because of all of the plot and the story that
Bespin
there.
In the movie, Bespin, of course, is just as good as Hoth. I'm sorry. Those 2 scenes are the best scenes in Star Wars.
Right. It's the Luke and Vader battle. It's the Han and Carbonite. It's the bounty hunters. It's, there's cool things that happen in Bespin. Cooler things happen in Bespin than on Hoth, but Hoth had the cool stuff.
Hoth set the tone, and maybe this is where it came. The name of the movie is Empire Strikes Back. Right at the beginning of the movie,
boom,
the rebels get their asses kicked. And that's great because before, the last time you saw them, they miraculously took out the big, the most deadly thing in the galaxy.
Right.
And so they were like on a roll, right?
Yeah.
Empire, okay, you took out the Death Star, whatever.
Yeah.
We're going to drop,
we're not done.
We're not done.
Yeah.
We've got another one building.
And then the movie ends with the rebellion taking a hit again.
Right.
Like, it's not, like, it doesn't end in a great place for the air quote good guys.
Yeah, Luke loses a hand. I mean, this is a big deal.
All head is filled with a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, he's my dad.
Yeah, you got that iconic line. I liked watching that with my daughter too.
I know. I think that's my shirt. Pop my shirt up here. I just got this. It's a Funko shirt.
Let's see. Hold on.
Swing us up here. It's like an old
There you go.
comic/card. Vader reveals the truth. No! Anyway, this came in a really cool box, by the way. We should put a link on it to the web page. All right. Number 4, Josh.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
The Dagobah playset. Oh, yeah. This playset did not feature any cardboard, so it lasted. Well, except for the foam. The foam didn't really last. But this playset featured a quicksand pit that R2 or any other figure could fall down. And I don't know about you, Josh, but on the playgrounds as a kid, there were 2 things that you had to be careful of.
Yeah, that's right.
Quicksand.
Lava.
And hot lava. Yes, 100%. And so the fact that this playset had a little quicksand place where figures would get sucked under and you'd never see them again, awesome.
Awesome.
It featured a levitation rock where you could like use the force to pick up cargo cases.
Yep.
Or even R2 if you managed to not lose the cylinder to raise R2 to put in his little hole there. I don't know how to do that unless
R2's hole. You just shove it in R2's hole and
put the cylinder in R2's hole.
Force lift him.
And then you can lift him up.
There you go.
It featured an arm that you could have Luke do a handstand, a one-arm handstand on.
Mm-hmm.
It featured a little hut where Yoda and Luke could have dinner,
soup,
maybe throw a snake or something.
Sure.
And then it had movable positions on it too. As you can see, there's little levers that you could move, in and out and around.
Yep. So the training, you could do all the training.
You could train. You could
because
levitate.
you'd have Yoda in a backpack, and away you go.
Exactly. This had a lot of cool features to it. It wasn't just a stationary thing. You could interact with it in a number of ways. And so that's why it was number 4.
Now this set made it to my grandparents' toy box. So whenever it's weird. That's how I only had a few toys there, and so that's when I got to play with Dagobah.
Right. As far as like the most bang for your buck, this might be it.
I don't know. I mean, it's because of because of, like you said, all the parts were lost. So then to me, it just became a tree trunk for a while. But it was still a tree trunk that
became the Swiss Family Robinson set.
Right.
All right, that was number 4. Now, Josh, before we get to our top 3, I want to mention the honorable mentions.
Okay.
There were 2 that were very, very close to making my list, and actually one really close to making the list. And then one that I just need to give a shout out to. And the one I want to give a shout out to are just in general, the mini rigs.
Yeah, the mini rigs.
Okay. Now there were a lot of them, and this was a marketing decision by Kenner to get more toys out there because there was a demand for Star Wars toys. And the mini rigs didn't really have any place in the movies, but they were Star Wars licensed merchandise that they got out to kids. They were small. You could put figures in them, and they were popular.
Right.
Do you have a favorite of the mini rigs? I know they have funky names, but
no, I don't. I like the little. I like the hot piece with the dish on it. That one's kind of iconic to me.
Yeah,
right?
I have that written.
What is that called?
That's called the radar laser cannon.
The radar laser cannon, of course.
Yes,
that's the one I liked because again, it was a great addition to the Hoth set, and it made that battle scene for me more realistic because one of the coolest effects in Empire, I just love Empire. One of the coolest effects, the way those things shoot, they come from the outside of the dish and they go, wow. It's like, I don't know where it's pulling the energy from, but bam.
Yeah.
Shoots the dish, right?
Yes.
Yep.
But then it didn't do any damage.
It hits the walker and
just absorbed it.
Yeah.
It kind of went like this.
Yep. That's it.
To mimic my guy Luke.
That's right.
All right. So the mini rigs were awesome. they were a great idea by Kenner. It worked. People bought them. There's a lot of cool ones. My favorite is probably the tripod laser cannon.
Okay. That same though, same. It adds to the effect because you see those in the battle scene.
You actually see one kind of in Star Wars too.
Yeah, do the troopers bring it out? And
yeah, they're going to set it up before they hit the Millennium Falcon. Yeah.
Yep.
So this is in a couple places, and also featured in episode 1 of Mando. No, 2.
Well, the final episode of Mando.
Episode 1. He jumps on. It's a hovering one. Right before he finds what he's looking for.
Well, that's the last episode.
It's the first one.
Oh, I forgot. Okay.
Last one.
He's got a big gun there too.
Yes.
Oh yeah, but in the first one he takes out.
First one, he takes out that little. And he's like.
Yeah, there you go.
With IG-11.
You got it.
Okay. All right. So the other one that I thought it was just a little too close to a figure to count it as a toy and not a figure, and that was the WAMPA. Or in not Star Wars realms anyway. So it's kind of a cool throw in and used to cover up actual scars Mark Hamill got in a car wreck.
Mm-hmm. You know? Had to hit him in the face.
Had to hit him in the face just to, give him a reason to have him.
Yep.
Because all of a sudden he would just have him otherwise, and that would be weird.
Oh, you never know. He could have fallen off a Tauntaun earlier in the day. Something.
Han hit him in the face with an ice ball.
Yeah. Snow fight. Gone bad.
I wonder how many snowball fights they had on Hoth.
Oh, a lot.
Probably a lot.
Yeah.
Those techs, working on.
Yeah, they're outside,
climatizing,
and you're gonna put a handful of snow down a guy's hoodie. That's for sure.
Down his flight suit.
Yeah, he's bending over to fix something. Boop, butt crack. Snowball butt crack attack.
Snowball deposit.
Yeah. It wasn't all seriousness there.
Are you a snow angel? Anyway. Okay. Now to our top three. And I'm going to start with a very controversial number 3.
Okay.
And this is the toys. Is an open-bellied Tauntaun. Open-bellied Tauntaun. Not only was this a Tauntaun with a special feature, because they made regular-bellied Tauntaun.
Open-back Tauntauns.
Right. That you impale with right in the spinal area.
Right.
But, these 4-nostriled, weird...
That's pretty good.
Thank you. Creatures... It had an open belly, like the scene where Han picks up a lightsaber, turns it on. The only time a non-Force user uses a lightsaber in the original trilogy, and then all these water balloons fall out of the top. And then they shove them in, and
a very quotable line.
I thought they smelled bad.
Yeah, it's a lot of breathing
on the outside. Yeah. Okay. There are some problems in actuality. He scooped everything out of it first.
Right.
Like he didn't throw himself in with the guts.
Right.
Because,
diseases.
Moisture would freeze. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Especially in Hoth. So he essentially encase himself into a frozen Tauntaun gut ball.
Oh, well, make a little Tauntaun pop.
Gross.
Yeah, so controversial because I don't agree with this.
Not at all. And I know that.
I don't.
Because?
I disliked this toy as a kid. Creeped me out. I wanted the rideable Tauntaun. I guess maybe I'm, that was the animal cruelty side of me.
Okay.
He
was already dead, though.
No. We don't need to desecrate him. Okay. So, it just creeped me out. The belly creeped me out. I didn't like it.
Right. It was gross. Yeah. And as a grade school kid, young grade school kid,
5.
It was gross and intriguing.
Yeah.
And the fact that they made a toy that you could do that
Again, I appreciate that, but it wasn't my favorite. It wouldn't have been my top 3.
All right. Fair enough.
Wampa would have probably jumped ahead of him by a long shot, but yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, so the open belly Tauntaun, not the closed belly version, but
Not-
the open belly.
Closed belly's fine. I had him riding around, but the open belly, it got lost.
Yeah, it is weird.
If I even had it, I don't know. I've maybe had Santa return it.
Santa, can I swap?
The box is pretty cool though for it because it does have Luke kind of like in this picture you have of your personal set, had Luke kind of reaching out of it. It's at what point, or like if you hadn't seen Empire Strikes Back and you're a parent shopping for your kid,
right,
and they say, "Give me any, I want a Tauntaun," and you walk by and see this box where somebody's crawling out of the belly of a goat.
Two-leg, yeah,
Two-legged
upright,
goat.
an upright goat.
Would you be like, "Oh, sure, I'll buy that"?
That looks cool. Side note about the Tauntaun that I don't think gets enough respect. The Tauntaun knew the WAMPA was close by before the Force-using, soon-to-be Jedi knew.
It did.
Yeah, that's Tauntaun for let's get the F out of here. We need to go. And he didn't. And what do you want to know first? Do you want to know number one so we can talk about number two? You want to know number two?
Let's just go right into number two.
Okay, number. The cockpit assembly also have a weight on it so that it always stays in an upright kind of position. You know,
Right.
they stay a certain way. And I thought that's a very cool feature. Of course, it's associated with maybe my favorite or second favorite Star Wars character.
Yes, it is your number one.
Yeah. So, of course, it's going to be high on my list. Is it this high on your list, Josh?
Yeah, I love Slave One. There's nothing wrong with Slave One. It is not my number one, and it wouldn't be, but it would be very, as a toy, I like that you say the iron. It does. That never really came into my brain as being, like, oh, it's a flying iron. Because it's so unique. It lands flat, and it takes off, and then flips over. And the rotatable, cockpit chair and the swiveling chair is just super cool. So I think it's a solid number two, and of course Boba Fett was an awesome character that I loved as a kid as well. So
yeah, I want to say here, this is kind of take a step backwards here though, but Thizzlamic.
That's what I'm going for.
Thizzlamic says, I used gummy worms in my Tauntaun. That's funny. And appropriate. Except don't leave them in there because then that could be bad. All right.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, this was my number two also, Josh. So the fact that it wasn't your favorite, it's not even my favorite.
I know, but we did say we were going to disagree on a couple things. I think mainly it was just the Tauntaun, because I totally agree with number one. Because number one is like not only the best Empire toy, it's the best. It's
in
up
the
there.
running.
It's up there in the top 3 of the best toys from the series. So for me,
yeah,
from the kind of the Kenner, the vintage line.
Yeah. So I guess without further ado, number one, Empire Strikes Back toy, the famed all-terrain attack transport.
There it is.
And it has cannons. It has a movable head, assembly that you can stick your hand kind of in the side there. That door flops down.
Yep.
You can press the button and the guns fire. You can move the head around. And
articulating legs.
How the head moves on the toy is exactly how the head moves in the movie.
Yep.
That's I think that's why people connect with it, because it's like, this is exactly like story.
I know.
You have an AT-AT
I do.
story. I don't, other than I've always thought that they were awesome. They were like the toy that I always wanted but never had.
Right.
So once I finally got one, I actually got two, because you had two. And I wanted to be like you. So
you did.
I got a second one only
weird.
because you had two, and I was like, "That's cool. They're next to each other."
Next to each other, you know.
Yeah, that looks really cool.
You're not just gonna send one AT-AT to Hoth.
When you can send 5, like.
Here's the thing about this toy, and I've told my story, but the sheer scale of the toy was what made me as a kid absolutely, like, I can't remember. I know I got other toys and I've talked about them and I had them, but I can't remember thinking, dreaming, wishing for anything more than the AT-AT, or the walker is what I called it as a kid. I wanted a walker, and just its sheer volume or size and scale, and which made, I mean, look, you've got in the picture there, you've got the stormtrooper. Look how the stormtroopers, I mean, the scale's not that far off.
No,
like, you know
it's
what
really
I'm saying?
not.
And so I was just enamored as a kid when that came on in the Sears catalog, wherever you were reading, or I would go to that page, circle it a lot, you know, leave it on mom's nightstand, leave it on the kitchen table, leave it in the bathroom for dad, you know.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. But no, and when that thing showed up under the Christmas tree, I can't remember another thing after that.
Yeah.
And what's kind of cool is, as the special editions came out later, along with the prequels, my younger brothers really got into, you know, Star Wars as well, except they liked all the new Power of the Force stuff, obviously. Right. And their wish was an AT-AT.
Yeah.
Right away. And so I got to experience another Christmas as a 22-year-old or whatever, 20-year-old, with an AT-AT under the Christmas tree. And I mean, I was just as excited as they were, running down the stairs. What is it? You know, and I actually have pictures of that I just found. I wish I should have got them, because it was just, you know, that feeling of getting that toy is my biggest memory. So this will be number one in my heart forever, for many reasons.
Overall?
I think overall, as I keep talking about it, because I love the Imperial shuttle. I think that's...
Because I was going to say, Millennium Falcon,
Falcon's...
AT-AT, or Imperial shuttle. Rank those 3, Josh.
It's going to go AT-AT, shuttle, Falcon.
Oh, man.
Isn't that weird?
To me, that is a little weird.
That's weird, I know. When I would see that, you know, as a kid, you know, bigger toy means better, right? If you were trying to get that aircraft carrier for G.I. Joe, I mean, give it to me because it's huge. But that's what these were. Big, giant toys that almost made a statement when your friends came over.
Yeah, they're the only Star Wars toy that takes D batteries, too.
Yeah, now...
big suckers.
Funny story, because the one I don't know if it's been a while, but in my AT-AT that you were then envious of because I got the second one, that's when I went to put the batteries in and found the stowaway snow stormtrooper inside from the kid that owned him. And he must have been in there with his gun. I mean, it was fantastic.
Yeah,
he was in near mint condition.
Yeah.
I wonder how long he'd been in there, stowed away, hiding from the rebels, you know.
Yeah.
Luke slashed open the door, threw in a grenade, and he hopped into the battery compartment and rode it out.
Did you ever find it was weird that the snow speeders just pepper him with, you know, laser bolts and nothing happened, but as soon as one fell over, one shot and the whole thing just blew up?
It was the exposed neck. There's obviously a weak spot back here.
Remember
they hit it right?
It's the Achilles neck?
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe instead of all this looping around crap, that you could have just gone up and then straight down and taken a few out.
Yeah, just take a little...
Yeah. But, you know, hey. Or maybe the impact... Come on.
Maybe when it landed,
it was kind of hilarious.
Maybe it was concussed.
Yeah.
So, it was, okay.
Shield dropped.
The metal dog.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. That's the list, guys. We're done with the list. What do you think? Was my list close to your list? Is there anything that you majorly agreed or disagreed with? Let's go disagree. Did you disagree with me on anything? Josh disagreed with my inclusion in the What's one that we didn't say that you feel like needs to be on there?
Sure. Hit us up in the comments or
on Twitter.
On Twitter.
I'm gonna put a poll. I'm gonna put 2 polls up here. One today, one tomorrow. Today's poll is gonna be Bespin or Hoth.
Okay.
Tomorrow's is gonna be Falcon, AT-AT, or
Imperial shuttle.
Nobody's
going to vote for the Imperial shuttle. I get it. It's okay. It's my own weird thing, but you can just call it. That's my thing.
I think overwhelmingly the Falcon will win.
I do as well. The Falcon's awesome. Don't get me wrong. The Falcon is a must own.
Mostly because it's first.
Yeah.
It came out first.
Yeah, it's a must own. It still holds up. It's amazing. They've made bigger versions and other versions which are also awesome, but you still can go back to that vintage, open up the back, drop the ramp, and stow away the smugglers. It's fantastic. Put guys in the cockpit. I mean, it's a fantastic toy. Always has been. Motor, cool sound.
Remember, this reminds me. This is like early Holochronicles. I'm reminded of this where you played your motor and I played my motor.
Right.
And yours was like, and mine was like, God, that was funny.
Yeah.
That was maybe a best of moment there.
That was. So, yeah. Now, Y-Wing is Star Wars, is not an Empire.
Is a Return of the Jedi.
It's a Return of the Jedi toy. Yeah. Okay.
Y-Wing is a Jedi toy. And we'll probably have to,
that next week?
We might have to do that too at some point. I know Scotty wants to talk Phantom Menace merch one of these times, which would be kind of fun because there was a ton of it.
Well, and I've got bins of it that I don't even know.
It's true.
What's in there? We've got a whole nother show where we take it out of the box, but actually it'll just be take it out of the bin and then leave it in the box.
Leave it in the box, but take it out of the bin.
Take it out of the bin. So we've got all kinds of fun stuff where we're going to do some reveals with our own collections that are new to us and some other good ideas. But we're kind of getting rolling here with this. I like the top 10 toy. I think we should keep going. You guys decide whether we should or not. I guess we'll be able to tell from the polls.
Yeah.
And again, this is kind of just that vintage line. I know there's a lot of other toys outside in different category cups and or if we call them toys, merchandise, I guess. But this is fun.
YouTube channel so you can get updates on whenever our next live or recorded shows are, typically every Monday. Head on over to beyondtheblastdoors.com for all of the network information and content can be found. And if you so desire, head on over to Patreon/BTBD. And if you feel compelled to support us in that way, we are very appreciative of it.
A lot of people working really hard to make the network cool. So
yeah. So thanks so much.
And stay tuned for some fun stuff from the Holochronicles.
Yes, we've got some cool stuff. Not only do we have cool collections on the way that we're going to be showing some more of that, but we've got some. Well, we'll just say for now we've got some good stuff lined up.
Yep.
And
so thank you for joining us. And
may the Force be with you. And make Solo 2 happen.
Make Solo 2 happen. Why not? Why wouldn't we?
Why?
I'll support that.
Why wouldn't we? Dude.